The message came at 8:14 p.m. A photo, nothing explicit, just a hand, my wife's hand, holding a check, $500, fresh ink, her crooked, hurried signature. Below it, a caption from our divorced neighbor, Amy, "Finally, I'll treat him right." My wife hadn't sent it to me, she'd sent it to our group chat by accident, me, her, and her sister. A misfire, a momentary lapse in coordination, or conscience. The chat went silent for 3 heavy minutes. Her sister left without a word. My wife didn't. The house was quiet except for the hum of the fridge and the faint clink of ice melting in a glass she'd left on the counter. I stared at the screen, the image burning its way into my skull. $500. Not a random number, not an accident, a transaction. A joke, she would say, a misunderstanding, a harmless moment blown out of proportion. But my gut twisted. My phone vibrated again. A second photo, this time from Amy directly. A box of cheap red wine beside the check. A smile I'd seen too often when she thought no one was looking. "Deal's done," she wrote. I didn't respond. Didn't breathe, didn't blink. Because I remembered something else. Earlier that afternoon, standing on the porch, my wife laughing too hard, leaning just a touch too close to Amy as she said, "Box of wine and he's yours." And Amy, God, Amy didn't laugh. She just nodded, like she'd been waiting for the price. And now, here it was, $500. A joke that wasn't a joke. A sale that shouldn't be possible. And the sinking realization that the only one who hadn't known the real rules of my marriage was me. The air in the living room grew tighter with each second I replayed everything in my head. Her sudden late-night walks, her constant checking in on Amy after the divorce, the wine nights that ran late, the inside jokes I wasn't part of. None of it added up before. I had told myself it was harmless, community, empathy, compassion. But compassion doesn't cost $500. My wife came down the stairs slowly, each step a creak that sounded more like a warning than a movement. Her face was pale, her eyes searching. "You saw it," she said. Not a question, a confirmation. I didn't speak. Words felt too fragile, too revealing. She walked toward me with that practiced softness she used when she wanted to manage me, not talk to me. "It was a joke," she said, hand slightly raised. "A stupid one. Amy took it too far." But the look in her eyes, that flicker of fear, told me she was gauging me, testing the temperature, seeing how close the fire was to her feet. I thought about the years we'd built together, the trust, the small intimacies, the quiet mornings, and how quickly they could be traded, bought, sold. $500. Her smile trembled. Mine didn't exist. Behind the calm, I felt something cold rising. Not rage, not heartbreak, just clarity. A tightening of threads I hadn't realized were loose. Whatever this was, it wasn't new. This was only the first thing I was meant to see. The rest, I would have to find on my own. Investigation, when done quietly, feels like prayer. Calm, methodical, focused on truth rather than comfort. I moved through the next days with a cold efficiency, checking phone records, bank statements, Venmo transfers conveniently labeled with emojis. Amy's name appeared more than it should, more than it ever had before. Patterns emerged, meetings, payments, shared rides, canceled plans that lined up too neatly with Amy's bad days. I watched them both without appearing to watch. I let their guard remain down. My wife still touched my arm absent-mindedly in the kitchen, still kissed my cheek before bed, still said my name like I mattered. But her eyes, they flinched every time she caught me looking back. Amy avoided me entirely, unless my wife was around. Then she laughed too much, glanced at me between sentences, measured me. One night, I walked past the guest bathroom and saw my wife's phone on the counter, screen glowing. A message preview. He doesn't suspect a thing. I didn't open it. I didn't need to. Truth is best served without fingerprints. Instead, I documented. Screenshots, copies, timestamps. Every detail, every slip, every message logged like evidence in a case I already knew the outcome of. I kept my voice steady, my routine unchanged, my demeanor uncracked. Because the moment you reveal you know the truth, the liar rewrites the story. I wanted them both to stay comfortable, predictable, because predictable people are easy to trap. The final confirmation arrived on a Thursday. A shared hotel receipt, her card, Amy's signature on the guest form. 2 nights, the same week she'd told me she was visiting her mother. I made a single copy, printed, clean, undeniable. When I placed the packet on the kitchen table, my wife froze mid-step. The color drained from her face so quickly it was almost artistry. "What? What is this?" Her voice trembled. Mine didn't. "A map," I said. "One you've been walking for a long time." She flipped through the pages. Her hands shook. Her breath stalled. Then, the break. Tears, whispers, excuses. It wasn't like that. It only happened once. She needed comfort. I was lonely. I was stupid. I'm sorry, please, talk to me. But I was done talking. Her panic filled the space between us like smoke, thick, suffocating. I watched silently as she unraveled, page by page. The realization hit her slowly. I hadn't found one mistake. I had found the entire architecture of her betrayal. I handed her the check, the original, $500, the one she thought wouldn't matter anymore. She stared at it as if it were a detonator. Why do you have this?" "Because," I said quietly, "you sold something you never owned." Her eyes widened. A shiver ran through her. I leaned back, choosing each word with surgical precision. "You didn't just betray me. You undervalued me." She collapsed into the chair, hands over her mouth, sobbing into the space where her confidence once lived. I walked to the door, opened it, and gestured. Amy stood outside. I had texted her earlier, with my wife's phone. She stepped in, confused, smiling faintly, until she saw the papers, the check, the look on my wife's face. Her smile died slowly. I didn't raise my voice, didn't accuse, didn't rage. "I just wanted you both to see yourselves," I said. And then I left them there, together. I drove with the windows down. The night air felt clean, honest, uncomplicated. No one chased me, no one called. Betrayers drown in their own silence long before anyone else pushes them under. At a red light, I finally exhaled. Not relief, not victory, just release. Some truths don't burn, they freeze, and once frozen, they break cleanly. As the light turned green, I felt the last thread snap. I didn't look back, because the moment someone puts a price on you, you stop being theirs, and you start being free.